that, I'm going to just give people a little bit of background. Now, most people that are on this call have probably heard this type of, information about myself, but we have hundreds of new people. On average, still anywhere from 200 to 600 people a day joining. So there's a lot of people every single day that are just coming into EPX Body, just hearing about it for the first time and really don't know a whole lot about the background. So I'm not going to go into really the whole vision behind the company, but I've had kind of maybe about 3 major turning points over the last 20 years in my network marketing career. Now, I got started back in February of 1993. I was 18 years old and absolutely knew nothing about network marketing. In fact, I had never even heard of it. I'd never heard of Amway, Shackley, Herbalife, Newskin, no, none of the companies. I'd never heard of any of them. So it was something brand new to me, and I struggled in the beginning. When I first heard about it at the opportunity meeting, it sounded like, this has got to be the easiest thing ever created. I'm going to make a fortune. And, I knew a lot of people. My family was entrepreneurial. I grew up with my parents owning furniture stores, my dad also being in insurance, at convenience stores. So, again, I grew up understanding what it was like to own a small business and start things from scratch, because I saw my parents do it, several different times growing up. So I kind of envisioned that. And when I first saw network marketing, what I saw was the opportunity for anybody to start a home-based business, regardless of your background, skill set, or experience. No licensing, no education, none of that necessary to start, and actually work off of somebody else's infrastructure. Because I can tell you for sure, the infrastructure is the hardest part of any business by far. And I can definitely tell you that now, running a network marketing company for the last year and watching over this infrastructure, there's a lot of moving parts, and it's a very difficult thing to do. But what this home-based business and the network marketing industry allows people to do is actually work off of somebody else's infrastructure. You don't have to put up all the money for the employees and the buildings and the inventory and set everything up and the programming and the websites and all of that. That's all done for you, and you're getting it actually for free. The only cost is simply buying the product, and there's absolutely no risk because the product is backed with the money-back guarantee. So again, it's the ability to start a business, make unlimited money with simply buying a product. In worst case, you don't like the product, you can get your money back even on the product. So, and yet you have all of the upside of somebody who spent tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or in some cases millions of dollars on infrastructure, and you don't have to do any of that. So that's what I saw when I was first introduced to network marketing, and I saw anybody that has any common sense, has any logic to them, period, at all, is going to see the same thing that I saw, but I found out quickly that I was mistaken there for several reasons. One of the biggest reasons is perception. Perception, what people perceive to be reality is their own reality. So a lot of people perceive network marketing as something different than starting your own business working off of somebody else's infrastructure, whether they think it's a pyramid scam or this, that, or you have to be in at the beginning, or all different things that people have a perception of network marketing, but mine wasn't that. And so when I got working, I instantly started to become frustrated. In fact, I went 5 months without even earning a commission check. We have people in EPX that in less than 5 months have earned $15,000 to $20,000 checks. I went 5 months before I even got any check. So what I'm saying is I did not start off in the industry as a guru, an expert, a great marketer, a great salesperson, none of that. I was 18 years old and knew absolutely nothing about network marketing. But I did know one thing. I knew that success leaves clues, and I realized in order to be successful, you needed to study success. I mean, again, that's pretty logical, but if you want to be successful at something, whether it's a sport, whether it's some other skill set, you want to study people that are having success in that area. So what I started doing after about 5 months of failing is I started going to every meeting that I possibly could, not even the company that I was participating in. Any meeting I would go to in hopes of meeting some successful marketers and picking their brain. That was opportunity meetings that was going on in Cedar City, Utah when I was in college. There was maybe about 2 or 3 different hotels would have opportunity meetings. I would go try and meet the different leaders. I wasn't trying to cross-recruit them. I wasn't trying to recruit them at all. All I was trying to do is find out who's successful and see if I could meet with them and kind of pick their brain a little bit. Now, after doing this for about 2 years straight, going back and forth, Las Vegas to conventions, up to Salt Lake to conventions, and where I was at was actually a pretty good location because there's a lot of network marketing companies in northern Utah, and there's a lot of worldwide companies all throughout the U.S. that do meetings and conventions in Las Vegas. And I was a couple hours from Las Vegas and about 3 or 4 hours from Salt Lake City, so it wasn't ever that far for me to get to a training or get to some event. And any time that I possibly could, that's what I was doing on my weekends. So what the whole goal was, again, to find out what successful people were doing. Now, over that time, I found out that there's 5 key traits that these people had. At first, I thought, hey, this is going to be very difficult because I was kind of convinced that the secret to success was luck. There's so many people that I met with that when I heard their story and I went through everything, it just, to me, just seemed like they didn't do anything special. They just kind of got lucky. And in some cases, that was it. But when I started to dig deeper, I started to notice things that they all had in common. So I want to go over those just really quick, and then I'm going to go into the event here. The 5 traits, the very first one that I realized that people needed to do in order to be successful in a network marketing business is they needed to have a why and they needed to have a plan. If you don't have a why and you don't have a plan of how you're going to build the business, if there's not a reason that you're an EPX body, and typically it's going to be a health reason that our products can help with or a financial reason that our opportunity can help with. So you have to have a reason that you're going to do the business, and you have to have a plan. Just participating, no matter how big a company gets, just you being involved in that company is really not going to benefit you that much if you don't have a reason, a game plan, what you're doing, and at the same time, you don't have a plan to achieve it. So when I was figuring that out, it took me a little while, but my why became very clear to me. My why is I always wanted to work something that I was passionate about. I never wanted to work for a wage. So if you can go back and think of when you were 18, 19 years old, when I was that age and I was thinking, okay, what do I want to do for a living? What I knew I didn't want to do is a job that I hated just to barely make enough money to squeak by. So when I was thinking about it, the thing I was passionate about at the time was athletics, so it's sports. I realized early on that I'm probably not good enough at any of them to go to a professional level, but I still wanted to do something, whether it was coaching, whether it was training or something in sports. And I started to look, okay, well, how do you do that? And I started to see that's not the highest paying field for starting out. A lot of times you go into the teaching, so, start coaching, or you start coaching at the college level, different areas like that. But I started to think, okay, I need to come up with some other way so that I can do what I really want to do in life. And that's what I looked at network marketing as the vehicle that I could work this business over the next 4 years while I'm at school anyways, and that would give me the opportunity to really do what I wanted to do, something that I was passionate about for the rest of my life. So every time I was frustrated, every time I wanted to quit, every time the company had problems, every time I wasn't getting the support or wasn't having the success that I wanted, I would go back to that, and I would think, okay, I always want to work for passion, never for a wage. If I quit, I'm not going to have that opportunity. And so, again, that was really the first step. The second thing was the leaders that I met with just used the product and created their own testimonial. As basic as that sounds, that's what the whole concept of network marketing is. That's why a network marketing company puts together a compensation plan instead of going with celebrity endorsers. Instead of just paying celebrities to endorse our product, we put a compensation plan. In our case, it pays 60 cents on every single dollar, and that's just the base plan. That doesn't include the rank advance bonuses. Those are all in addition to the 60% we're paying out, and that also does not include the challenge where we're paying up to $10 per pound loss. So again, we're paying the major bulk of every penny that comes into this company back to the distributors, and the reason we're doing that is we feel that your testimonial to your center of influence is much stronger than any paid endorsement that we could ever get. That's why we pay the major bulk of every single dollar right back to the distributors is for that testimonial. And that's one of the main things that we saw people succeed in, is they tried a product, they liked the product, until they told somebody else about the product. They just gave their testimonial. They did the same thing. They did the same thing. Before you know it, they had duplication, and they built a business. So again, developing your testimonial about the product or about the opportunity and sharing that with your center of influence is the absolute basic of what network marketing is all about. So that was the second trait that I saw that successful marketers had. The third one was let the tools do the selling. Again, let the tools do the selling. That's the way that you create duplication. You're going to notice there's a lot of things that what creates the success has everything to do with duplication and retention. So having a why and a plan, that has a lot to do with retention. If you don't have a why, your retention is going to be horrible. You're probably not going to stick in it when it gets tough. You're going to give up and quit and get on that, merry-go-round of going from company to company, making excuses of why you're not sticking with it and all those different types of things. And you find out, I know people over the last 20 years, they've probably been in 100-plus companies over the last 20 years, and every company that they didn't have success in, it was somebody else's fault. And I'm not saying that there aren't, instances that companies make mistakes, and we've made plenty of them here with EPX, so I understand the frustration. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a strong why you're doing the business, it's really going to limit the possibility of success. And the same thing when you're looking at it, it's more than just you, it's your entire team. So if you're not finding out the why of the people you bring into the business and what they're passionate about and what they're trying to accomplish, whether, again, it's income goals or it's opportunity-based, you're definitely going to struggle having success in this industry. And again, that has to do with the retention. Product testimonial has to do with duplication. The letting the tools do the selling has everything to do with duplication. There's a lot of people that are fantastic marketers. In fact, there's a lot of people in our company that have sponsored, 50 to 100 to 200. We have some people that have sponsored over 500 people personally. So they're great marketers, but it doesn't matter how good a marketer you are. If you don't get duplication and retention, you're almost never a top income earner. And I'll bring that up here in just a second when I finish talking about this, what I noticed with these people. So again, let the tools do the selling, not yourself. If you're a great presenter and you're a great marketer, then record your presentation, either audio or video, make it into a tool so that your team can use that. Because what we want to do, most people are not, fantastic presenters. It's not necessarily in their comfort zone. So you get the people that are good presenters, and you create tools out of their presentation so that all people have to be is a decent inviter. Invite somebody to view some information, let the information do the selling. That's the easiest way to create duplication, and I found that's what most of the leaders did. That was one of the traits. Now, the fourth thing goes hand in hand of what we have coming up with EPX Body. You always got to be learning. If you just have one thing figured out and it works well for you, good luck in keeping that going 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. I've been in this industry now for 20 years, working daily, and I can tell you, things I did 20 years ago don't work well today, with the exception of center of influence. That's always going to be a basis, going to the people that, you already know you, like you, and trust you. That's always going to be the basics. But marketing principles that I used 20 years ago flat out don't work very good anymore. In fact, marketing principles and things that I did 3 years ago don't work. Some things that I did 3 months ago don't work good anymore. So it's something that you always have to be learning, you always have to be changing, and that's one of the things that I've seen a lot of people will build a business one time, and they don't continue to learn. They don't continue to improve their skills and keep up with technology, and then if something happens with the company or they slow down, their income starts to drop, they can't rebuild it because they don't know what to do anymore, because the things they did 10, 15, 20 years ago when they built their business don't work. I can't tell you over the last year since we started this how many people that have been seven-figure earners in network marketing absolutely have nothing to show for it right now, and they're in a very poor position because they don't know how to build, because they didn't continue. They either got lucky when they made their money, or they didn't continue to learn. That's why I've gone to so many events. One of the things that I've found in, seven-figure or multiple seven-figure earners in network marketing, I know very few of them that don't attend several events every single year to continue to network, meet new leaders, meet more people, and also learn more skills. And I don't think that that's just a, something that's happening by chance. I don't think that's just something to be overlooked. The people that are successful, almost 100% of them that I know of, that I've met, that are strong 6- and 7-figure earners, attend events. It's just as easy as that, because you've got to always be learning. And then the fifth one is, again, you can't go without saying, but just not giving up too soon. Just don't quit the business. If I had quit after 5 months, I would have never even earned a commission check. And I would almost guarantee you that this last 20 years, I never would have created success. I stayed with in fact, the first company I was ever with, I still get a monthly check, actually a weekly check, from to this day. I haven't talked to one person since about 1996, 1997 in that business, and still 16 years later, get a weekly commission check. If I would have just, gave up when I wasn't having success and just said, oh, maybe the people were right, maybe this is something that you got to be in at the beginning, or maybe this is something that, the company doesn't have their act together, or whatever it is, I need to go find something else. Most of those people are the same people you've been following year after year after year that have dragged you to 5, 10, 15, 20 different companies, and yet you're still following them. And yet the same things that you're doing, if you don't change what you're doing, you're probably not going to change your success. I can't tell you how many, there's people in EPX in 1 year's time that they didn't even give it a year. In fact, most of the people who quit do so within the first 60 days. And that's not just in EPX, that's in every company. So when you think about it, I would say about 80 to 90% of the people who quit the business quit within the first 60 days, definitely quit within the first 90 days of that business. And so what I want to ask them, and if I could, I'd say, well, what did you expect to happen in that 60 days based on the effort that you put into the business? Based on the effort that you put into the business, what did you envision? And if you put that same effort, the same thing that you did over the last 60 to 90 days, in any other company in the entire industry, what would be so different? In most cases, their success would be exactly the same. They'd have no success. But yet, again, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to see that, oh, well, maybe there is a lot of this is me. Maybe the people that aren't making money, it isn't just because they know more people, or it isn't just because they have done this longer, or whatever people think. I can't tell you how many times over the last 20 years people say, oh, yeah, you're having success because you have a big list. Yeah, no kidding. I'm having success because I have a big list that I spend year after year, day after day, adding people to my list every single day, and spending years and years and years cultivating this list to try and get as many people as possible to know me, like me, and trust me. So when I found an opportunity that met the criteria that I had in my mind, what I was looking for, and I reached out to them, they would at least look at it. And then most people just aren't willing to take that time. So again, these are the secrets to success, the 5 keys that I found. And that was the first thing that I started to think, okay, this is what I need to start doing in order to be successful. I need to create a product testimonial that I can share with people. I need to have a why. I need to have a plan. I need to, create tools or use tools because they're more duplicatable to do the presenting. I need to continue to learn, and I need to just not give up on myself, not give up on my dreams so easy. In fact, after 1 year, I was averaging between $100 and $200 per month. After 2 years, I was averaging about $1,000 per month. My 3rd year, I made over $100,000. My 4th year, I made over $800,000. Now, again, I didn't change dramatically the things that I was doing. I just gave it time. I just continued to do the same things. Now, the second thing that I created that was kind of one of those aha moments is I figured out the formula for duplication. And that formula is pretty simple. The formula is building a list. If you don't have people to talk to, how in the world are you going to bring people into the business? Second thing is cultivating that list, getting these people to know you, like you, and trust you. The third thing is presenting to that list using tools. That should create some sign-ups over time. The fourth thing is teaching them how to do the exact same thing. So when people see, I'll give one quick example here, and then we'll spend about the next 10 or 15 minutes before we end the call just covering the event. But just one simple example here. It's easier than ever. Over the last probably 4, 5, 6 years, in that range, it's never been easier to build a list because of social marketing, just as an example. Let me just give you just a quick, simple example of a strategy that everybody in our entire company should be doing. Let's just take Facebook, for example. Close to 1 billion profiles, millions and millions and millions and millions of network marketers. Now, I'm not saying go add them to be a friend. That's not going to do anything for you. What I'm saying is, let's just say you use Facebook and you use their search tool and you type in network marketing, home-based business, internet marketing, any company in the planet, and what you're going to come up with is a bunch of groups and a bunch of individuals. You take those groups, and let's just say that you just want to spend 20 minutes a day building your list. So you grab a group, and you just grab 10 people, and what you're going to find about network marketers, they're using Facebook to market. Very few of them are creating private pages. So they're going to have on their about, they're going to have their information. Usually a website, usually an email, phone number, obviously their name. So if you have a name, phone number, email address, and that type of information of a network marketer that you want to build a list of network marketers, why wouldn't you take just a minute, copy and paste that information into the contact manager that EPX Body provides for every single distributor. 100% of the distributors has a contact manager that you can build your list. So let's just use an example, and let's just say you're just grabbing 10 a day. That would take no more than 20 minutes. And that 20 minutes can happen anytime, 24/7. Now, the next thing you do is you can do this through your own email. You can do it through the email tool in your EPX Body back office. For those 10 names that you add, we're just doing 10 a day, you send a quick email. That email would say something like this. It would say something like, hey, I came across your site. I see that you're a marketer. I'm a marketer also. I'm always interested in hot new products. Come across something, feel free and reach out. Give me a call or shoot me an email. So basically, I'm giving them the option. I'm giving them the opportunity to reach out to me. Now, a lot of people think, oh, okay, you're doing that, so when they call you, then you can tell them about EPX. No, I'm not to that stage. Stage that I'm out right now is simply building my list. That email that I'm sending out to them, that's the first step of cultivating this list. Because when I add those 10 people per day to my list, I don't know any of them. These are complete strangers to me. All I know is they're network marketers, and I want to build a list of network marketers. And the reason why is most of them don't think that this is a pyramid scheme. Their perception is this is a great business. They're already participating in it, and a lot of them already have a list. So that's, most of the time, the most successful and one of the smartest lists to build is a list of networkers. Now, if I'm doing 10 a day, taking 20 minutes, I'm sending out, quick email, just doing BCC or whatever to get them the email. And I do that day in and day out. It's not going to be any more than a week before people are emailing me or they're calling me every single day. Now, again, they email me, call me, they're doing it for a reason. They're probably trying to pitch me on their deal. That's fine. I'm just going to get their information. I'm going to talk to them. Maybe I'll look at what they're doing, and that's about it. And then I'm going to say, hey, I'll go ahead and take a look at it, and let's just stay in touch. Maybe I'll give you a call in the next 30, 60 days, or feel free and call me or reach out to me anytime. Now what just took place? I just went from people that I had no clue who they were. All I knew is they're a network marketer. They called me. I basically got the permission to follow up with them in the next 2 weeks, 30 days, 60 days. And now all of a sudden that's happening to me almost every single day of the week. Now let's fast forward to 1 year. 10 a day for a year is over 3,600 people. So I have a list of 3,600 people. 300 of them I've been cultivating a relationship with for 11 months. 600 of them I've been cultivating a relationship for 10 months. And so as that relationship starts going, there's simple strategies that you can introduce EPX Body to them using the tools that we provide. Whether it's a webinar that Jerry and Ernie do, whether it's a video that we have recorded, whether it's PHP, whether it's give it a 6-minute millionaire movie, all of these different things that make it so easy for you to invite somebody to look at our business. And as that goes, what I can guarantee you, as you start to cultivate that list at the end of a year and you figure out, hey, I've been doing this for 1 year, only about 20 minutes a day, and I have a list of 3,600 network marketers that I've been cultivating. So now, regardless of what I ever do in the future, if I started EPX Body with a list of 3,600 network marketers that I'd already been cultivating, is it going to be very hard for me to get 4 of them? Hopefully you can see, no, out of 3,600 it is not going to be hard for you to get 4 of them. In fact, you can probably get 20 or 30 or 40 of them out of that list, and that's a small list. That's about 20 minutes a day. What if you're going to work for 30 minutes a day building your list? Because there's nothing more valuable for a network marketer. There's nothing more important that you could be doing on a daily basis for your business than building your list. Now, again, you have to not just only build your list. You still have to cultivate that list because people are going to join people they know, like, and trust. So those are very simple things. So, again, let's say that you do 3 times that amount. Now you have a group of 10,000 people, and that's just in your first year of doing this. And everybody that you bring into the business, you teach them that simple technique. And you just have a group of 100 people, and they have a list of 3,000 to 10,000 people. Now all of a sudden you have a list that you're participating with of 100 to 300,000 people that are all network marketers. And now I think people can start to see, is there a secret to network marketing? Is there a reason that the same people in almost any company and anything that they do are almost 100% of the time successful? Yeah, there is a reason. The reason is they have a cultivated list. That's the only reason that they're more successful in almost every case than somebody else. So if you don't have a list, start building your list. Again, that's the first step of the whole duplication. And now as you start to teach your team that, then all of a sudden you can start to see how you can build some groups extremely fast. Because if you have a list of 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 or 100,000 network marketers, and all of your leaders that you worked with in the past have their own list of thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of network marketers, and their leaders have lists and their leaders have lists, then you can see that this business is not difficult at all. It just takes a little bit of time because you have to build that list and cultivate the list, and it's not something that you can just do in an hour or in a day or in a week. And yet people consistently have that expectation in the first 30 to 60 days that who knows what their expectation is, but 80% of people that quit do so within 90 days. That's just a statistic industry-wide, and I can tell you with EPX it's probably the same. 80% of the people who quit do so within 90 days. And there's several reasons for that. And again, I'm not saying that some of them aren't valid reasons. I'm just saying that if you want to have success, you've got to change the things that you've done that haven't been successful in the past. So